get things started here. I've got, I'm working on my audio. I'm going to be making some adjustments over the next couple of days that should remove all of the excess sound that you're hearing from my air unit. Um, I talked to our production director today, who happens to be one of my really good friends that is writing programs and stuff with me, and he is going to be setting my computer up here in the next few days. This one and this one, which by the way is the other thing I wanted to tell you about tonight. So just give it a day or two. By the weekend, you'll notice you won't hear any of the background noise or the air conditioner cycling on and off. You won't hear any of that by the weekend. Every day I make some kind of progress in here as long as I have time. Today I moved the 7.2 computer. I moved the 7.2 computer from over here, which it was over in the corner. And by the way, excuse the mess. The place is destroyed. I've got to clean it all up tomorrow. But anyway, this over here is all done. I've moved the VHF and UHF radio equipment up, and I've taken the HF equipment and put it over there because it's leaving with me in 2 weeks to go on vacation. So I'm just not even going to put it back right now. It's over there. It's ready to go on vacation. So right now, all I really worried about is I got this big 32 right here. I got the studio up for, guess what? I got a simulcast going on right now over at Starship After Dark, where you can see 8 more screens of everything going on around the country. It's pretty cool. Here, let me turn my monitor off. I can actually hear myself slapping back just a little bit over here. If I can get it to do it. I may move this mouse over here. It's just difficult. 3 mouses is a lot to have in one spot. It's better to have it over here, but I can't mouse with my left hand. I'm no good at it. But anyway, give me a couple of days, and I'll have this mic problem. I'll have this mic problem worked out. That's really all I can tell you on that. I've got everything maxed out, and I know there's background noise and everything. So by tomorrow, the next day, I'll have all that fixed. By the weekend, we are planning to have a. By the way, there's the shot of the studio. Notice down here now, behind my chair, you can see the. That's the Lennox machine down there, and it's another super machine like the one that I have back here. You can see the round fan back in this one. I got a super computer here that we're on right now, and I got another one down here now that's a Lennox machine, and that's what I've got over here. And if you go over to Starship After Dark, you'll see that we're actually live over there with this same show, except it's a different grid with different videos playing. Now here's what I'm planning on doing. Here's the show plan for this weekend. All right, I'm going to be here live most of the day on Saturday, and I plan to cover this No Kings rally, the conservative / Charlie Kirk counter rallies, and I plan to cover all of that plus all of the other breaking news of the weekend live. And I'm going to go live as soon as things start to happen. As soon as there's video to show you, things to tell you, I'm going to go live. What I've got over here now is my Lennox machine set up. Notice every browser has its own slider. There's all the browsers. This thing, I tested it today. It's running flawlessly. Very, very happy with the way it's running right now. And so you can see there, I'm pulling up the direct. Yep, and it's working. I just went there and just pulled it up briefly to make sure it's working. Let me get you guys up here. I can't see the chat room. Let me endeavor to get a damn chat room going. Oops, something went wrong. It's the YouTube monkey, which brings me to another story we're going to be covering in a few minutes. YouTube had a big outage just not long ago. Pretty rare that YouTube has a big outage, but it was.
Just cool today for
Oh, shut up. Hold on. Damn it. What is going on? I think YouTube is a little flaky. I don't even know if anybody's in here. I'm getting ready to I'm trying to pull it up and it flaked out on me. I've refreshed and I'm trying again. Let's see if I can get into, there we go. I'm coming into the studio now. I get the monkey again. I'm switching accounts. There we go. Looks like, okay, yeah, the numbers are coming up, I think. Oh my God, it reset again. YouTube's having issues, guys. Bear with me and bear with them, and we'll bear all, and we'll figure it out. Hey, Red. Hey, Carlotta. Hey, Victor. Let's see who else. Yes. It is still acting funny at times, Junior. It sure is. All right. Yeah, we were conversing. We were conversing over on Discord. Don't ever forget we got a Discord. You know, I for the longest time never joined Discord because it just didn't sound good. But let me tell you something. I like it. I had issues over there the other day. I still like it, so that's got to tell you something. You know, you don't have to have your own channels, but you can just go make an account. It's free, and it works just like, it works very similar to like the old Facebook. But you can have like different channels instead of just one home page or whatever. And I like it because I have all kinds of different folders, and you can go into each one and put in your articles. I encourage anyone to be a journalist in there. If you want to put something in, you can have AI rewrite it, or you can plagiarize it. I don't give a shit either way. But yeah, put in your stories, put in your pictures, videos. It's all good, and I think it'd be great. Anyway, this weekend, I'm here. I'm going to put it in the chat room. Here's the link if you want to go check it out. Please hit the subscribe, but not the bell. Don't hit the bell. It's just going to go off all the time. Don't hit the bell. Here, hit the bell on Starship Adventures. Hit the bell, please, because I'm the only one that broadcasts here on this channel, and it's always live. That channel, Starship After Dark, is very specifically, it is a basically an automated channel with a bunch of automated feeds. And that's why it's two separate channels, because it screws up my algorithms over here. But if you click that, you go over there, you'll see that I'm over there too. And I'm talking, and you can hear me over there, and I'm in the same corner I am here with that cool little red graphic that I found. Yeah, and so anyway, yeah, you can see me over there. You can even in the background on this, you can kind of see it back here in the studio view. And then I've just got up a bunch of great views from around the country and the world. Well, the world, because that's Dublin, and that's somewhere in the Middle East, or I'm sorry, in Southeast Asia, and that's down in the Keys. There's some different ones, West Palm. So I just put up random live videos that I knew would stay live for the whole time I'm on. This feed, however, I'm featuring several things. Right above me here, this is a guy named Chuck Bronson. He is a local thrill seeker type of cop watcher, First Amendment guy. And he is great. He's nonpartisan. He just drives around and films the cops. And he never gives them a hard time unless they give him a hard time. And it usually is pretty peaceful. And I like to watch. He's in my town, I believe, tonight. I believe he is right now in East Fort Myers. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe he is. And so I've got him up in the small window up here because I think it'd be kind of cool. We'll just keep an eye on him. Now, everything else you see here is Portland. There's 3 or 4 different views, and they keep rotating around. You can tell it's the left protesting because they showed up in costumes, because they're a bunch of children. That's children do. Anyway, I'm hoping everybody can hear me okay. Like I said, for those that are just joining us, I know you can hear the air conditioner and it's fairly loud, and I know I'm a little below the level I should be. That all will be fixed by the weekend. Probably in the next day or two, um, Jake from work is going to dial into the system here, and we are going to do the things necessary so that my audio will be gated and processed and noise suppressed so that you won't hear the air conditioner anymore. I think that's a good idea. So we're going to do that the next couple days. I want to get that done before the weekend. Um, Root Man, I was a cop for a while, so I mean, carrying a gun's no big deal to me. I don't carry guns anymore. I have a gun ready to go, with two mags, and it's in my go bag. I've got a bag that I never take. It sits in my room, and in there is a gun with two magazines, a flashlight, like about 12 different things. I call it my go bag, and it just sits in there. And it's for when something big's going down, or I gotta go take care of something, or someone's trying to get in my house. Um, but yeah, I keep that ready. But I don't even carry a gun anymore. I don't go anywhere where I need a gun. Now, when I go up to my cabin, I take a gun, but I don't carry it around town. I have it at my cabin in case I gotta defend the place. But for the most part, I don't go out at night. I don't do anything where I need to carry a gun, so I don't. But I do 100% believe in both open and concealed carry constitutionally. Absolutely. I am a First and Second and Fourth Amendment hawk. And I will fight for your right to carry a gun, even if I just leave mine at the house, because it's not a big deal to me. I find that 90% of the time, when someone tells you about a time they had to use their gun, the story always starts with, I'll tell you my story, and here's what they always start with. It was about 10 or 11 o'clock at night. I'm telling you, nothing ever happens good late at night. So everybody that's ever, I stopped at an ATM at 1 o'clock in the morning in this town, and some guy walked up and tried to rob him, and he turned around and shot him. I'm like, I would not stop at an ATM where you did. I wouldn't have never stopped at that ATM. And that's the difference. I just don't take any risks anymore. My doors stay locked. I don't know. I've gotten to the point where I will run from trouble. I don't want trouble. I used to run towards the gunfire. Now I'm home when the gunfire happens. So that's kind of how I am on that. Yeah, it's good to have ammo. You should have your ammo. I mean, we all do down here in Florida. Um, we have three things down here. On every corner, there's a church, a smoke shop, and a gun store. Every corner. Um, I swear to God, because you can buy weed in smoke shops now, and they're popped up everywhere. And even though it didn't pass recreational, it's going to be on the ballot again. But here's the thing: they legalized hemp, and it's a hemp product. So now all the head stores have it. It's all of the foreign-owned gas stations have it, for that matter. So you got guns, and you got marijuana, and you got churches all right on the same block, every block down here, and that's kind of the way it is. It's guns are big down here. Everybody has guns down here. Crime is low down here. Oh, bullets are expensive. I've got 15-year-old bullets that are all vacuum sealed. I know they're okay still, but yeah, I would not even want to think about buying bullets today. Um, I love Georgia. I got a cabin way up on the North Carolina line, north of Blairsville, Georgia, just south of Murphy, North Carolina. You got to say it like that, Murphy, North Carolina. And then Yeah, I love it up there. That is my soul feels at home up there. Even though I love my government and my state down here, a little more than Georgia. Georgia state is getting there. As a state, it's getting more red and more conservative every day. Um, we've got gator issues, big deal. We got shark issues too. You're more likely to get struck by lightning in Florida while you're visiting than bit by a gator or eaten by a shark. It's one of those things. We had a guy killed by a bear in Collier County last year. So now they're hunting bears. But let me tell you something. That's the first deadly bear attack in Florida in like 50 years. It's one of those things. If you FAFO, fuck around and find out. It's kind of one of those things. This guy pulled his camper way out in the middle of the woods, right? And he's cooking bacon on the stove, and the bear showed up for his portion, and he fought him for it in the camper, and he ended up dying from his injuries. But he was way out in the middle of the woods in a camper all by himself with no electricity, cooking on a gas stove after dark. And this bear smelled that bacon cooking. The shark attacks, they happen every now and then down here. People usually get away with some injuries, but not a death. And gators snack on these little kick dogs, and even they don't get the cats very often. Cats rare because the cats are very fast. But them little kick dogs, man, they drag them kick dog in the water about once every 2 months around here. And the funny thing is sometimes the old people, they just hold on to that leash, and I'm like, you're gonna go in the water, and he's gonna come back for you because you're bigger. But anyway, whatever. Truth is, alligators don't want humans. Alligators don't bite their food in half and then eat it in pieces. Alligators pretty much swallow the shit. They'll chew it up if they have to, and they'll rip it all apart if they have to. But they really don't want to take on something that's bigger than themselves or something that's going to be hard to eat. They'd much rather have your kick dog. If you and your kick dog are walking along the water, he's not going to get you. I can tell you that. Matter of fact, they should just call them feeder dogs when they take them out there, and that way, because that's what they are. They feed that gator while you're getting away. Koala bears. Oh no. Oh boy. I hope is that feed working okay over there? Leaves are they're probably peaking now, now because they're a little early this year. And I'm going up late this year, so I probably won't see much. The red oaks will probably still be holding, but I won't see a lot of the big yellows and stuff early on. I don't know about frosted Murphy. I haven't seen anything. I'm I don't think so. I'm kind of watching. I don't think it's come near that south. I'm kind of watching because my cabin is unwinterized and it's sitting up there. It's a sitting duck. Feeder dog. Oh my God. Yeah. Truthfully, there's a lot of states with more deadly animals than Florida. Or you can go to Australia where everything's 10 times bigger and 10 times more deadly and 10 times more venomous. You got to have some balls to live in Australia. That's why them guys are so tough. You don't mess with an Australian. You know why? Because everything in his country kills you. You got to be tough when you come from Australia. I love Aussies. They're great. Let's see. I think someone from in here was from Australia earlier, I think. But yeah, oh, I love that, man. Yeah, it's Australia's. But you got to be tough if you're going to go do stuff there. That's why they made those movies they made. Crocodile Dundee. That's not a knife. But anyway. All right. So what else is going on? Let me get some information put together here. All right, let's see what we got here. Apparently, YouTube suffered some kind of major disruption. I want to get into that real quick here. Um, okay, first of all, the outage affected multiple YouTube services, primary YouTube platform plus YouTube Music. It also affected the YouTube TV platform. All three experienced major issues. The problems included video playback interruptions and the inability to load content. I experienced this myself. The moment I got home and started pre-show, everything came up with an error. Nothing's working. I was having issues. But here's the thing. My streams are all still going out. It had nothing to do with the ingest side. It had to do with the customer side where the people are accessing the videos. Because all of my lives stayed live. Now, they had no viewers, but they stayed live. Even though some services like downloaded content and YouTube Music remained available in some cases for some users. Peak impact time in the U.S. evening hours, the highest number of reports came at about 7:55 p.m. Eastern. That was right about when I was starting my pre-show. I grabbed Chinese food on the way home. I go hot and cold on Chinese food. I'll eat the shit out of some Chinese food. And then, like, after about a month, I won't look at that shit again for 2 months. It'll be like, oh, God, no, not Chinese food. And then all of a sudden, one day, I'll get a hankering for some sweet and sour pork or some beef and broccoli. And man, I'll tear that shit up. I'll go all Southeast Asian and shit. And then anyway, so that's what I did tonight with some sweet and sour pork and some wonton soup and an egg roll with no seafood in it. These people that put seafood in egg rolls, there should be some kind of civil penalty for that. Anyway, peak impact time, let's see, thousands of users in the U.S. sent in outage reports during the peak. Other regions that were affected were the United Kingdom, Canada, and Australia. Reported issues roughly in the same time window. Large numbers of reports. The U.S. approximately 366,000 users reported issues via the down detector, peak detector. In other countries, there were thousands of reports as well. In Norway and other places, over 320,000 reports were logged for all YouTube services with some discrepancy. Geographic spread was global. Let's see, also reported in many European countries, both East and West. Users in different continents reported service issues, North America, as well as Europe and South America. Disruption included both web and app platforms. Many reports focused on the web browser version failing to load or stream being blocked. That's what I was getting. That this stream is blocked, I think it says something like that. Also, problems with the mobile apps and streaming from devices were also noticed. Although, like I said, my streams stayed up, but they have been up for a long time. YouTube acknowledged and that there was an issue, and they fixed it. The service confirmed via social media through official channels that they were aware and working to resolve the outage. Later, the issue was resolved with the service being restored across the entire platform. No details on the root cause were publicly disclosed. Okay, and the rest of this, when ChatGPT or whatever, Grok, I think I'm using Grok, when it runs out of things to tell you, it starts telling you the same shit in a different way. And that's kind of annoying. All right, let's see here. What do we got going on in the chat? Yeah, there's a lot of cyber attacking going on right now because we've got a lot of countries, including China and Russia, as well as a lot of private ventures out there too, out of Mumbai in the Middle East. That are all attacking for different reasons. You've got government sanctioned attacking, which, like in China, They'll have 1,000 people show up for work in this building, and they all just come in and sit at a computer, and they teach them what to do, and then they do it. They watch a video on what to do, and they start doing it. And then as they get better at it, they move them up on the floors and give them more money. It's all a big system. And all they're doing is hacking you. And it's government paid for. And then you got your private ventures that are trying to get your credit card numbers, or trying to have things, whatever. There's so many things they do. And all this is going on. Plus that big thing they caught in New York, where they had those thousands and thousands and thousands of cell phone transmitters. There's more of those systems out there. Those are professionally made systems. They're being produced in a factory somewhere. Don that owned TV shops. No, not really. Yeah, look, there's a lot of people from Florida up in Blairsville. As a matter of fact, there's probably as many people from Florida in Blairsville as there is from Blairsville in Blairsville. And let me tell you why. Because about half of them are halfbacks. People that moved to Florida got down here and realized it's too effing hot in the summer. And they went halfway back, and they stopped in Blairsville, Georgia, and they bought a little cabin to live out the rest of their life. That town is filling up with Floridians, halfbacks, and Atlanta. Everybody in Atlanta has a little cabin up there that they go to every weekend. That road, not Earl Bronson, what's the name? The Richard Russell, I think it is. No, it's not the Richard Russell. Who is it? It's Georgia 5. When you come out of the north end of Atlanta and you're going on 75 past the Beltway, once you get past the Beltway, you take a right at Canton and you head towards, get on 575. And that road will take you right around to Blairsville. And that road gets so backed up on Fridays, it turns into gridlock every Friday. People have gotten to where they stay in Atlanta during the week, and then on Friday they head for that cabin in the mountains as soon as they can get off. And that road's busy all day on Friday because there's people that will work an extra hour all week so they can get off at 1 o'clock on Friday. They've got all kinds of shit worked out because you want to get north of that head of traffic when you're heading up towards the mountains. That's why we're very careful when we travel to our cabin. We have exact times that we leave. For example, if I'm going up, I leave at 4 a.m. in the morning. If I'm coming back, I leave at 4 a.m. in the morning. That's golden hour. And I'll tell you why. If I'm leaving here, I can be just north of I-4 in Tampa in 2 hours at 6 o'clock when rush hour starts. So I got Tampa in the taillights when rush hour starts. So now I'm free. The rest of Florida is a breeze. Maybe a little slowed down in Ocala, normally not a big deal. I fly right out of the state of Florida. And I'm out of the state of Florida in 5 hours from here. Then as soon as I get into Georgia, right, we're getting into Georgia, it's about for us 9 o'clock in the morning. I hit the state line. And then I drive 5 more hours up to my cabin. But here's the thing. I hit Atlanta about 11:30, 12 o'clock in the middle of the day. So I don't hit any rush hours or anything like that. I go right through the middle of Atlanta on 75. I take the HOV lane if I've got somebody with me, and I stay right in there, and I go right on through Atlanta, right through, and I get on the 575, and I go on up around. And here's the great part. I arrive at my cabin usually between 12:30 and 1 o'clock in the afternoon. That's great, because now I got 5 hours to check my cabin in the daylight, make sure everything's working, get all my shit unloaded, get my family situated, get the grill out and the chairs and stuff for the porch. I like it because I can be ready. I can have everything all ready before it gets dark, because when it gets dark in the mountains, it gets dark. Anyway, there you go. Yes, because the truth is, Yeah, I wish I could. I wish I could. There's not a lot, and we'll talk about that here in just a second. But there's not a lot going on weather-wise. But yeah, I'll be going up to my cabin. Um, these the sights and sound shows, there'll be a 10-day period where I will be on a different broadcast schedule. I don't know exactly what. I'm going to let you guys know what I'm going to try to do. I got a wireless box I'm bringing up. I got an antenna, a directional antenna pointed at a cell tower. I got 5G up there. I'm hoping that everything will run smoothly, but I know I can't do this kind of show up there. I'm probably just going to do like 30-minute or 1 hour reports from up there each day, let you guys know what's going on. And then each day I'll do a drive. If I can find some internet service, I'll get out and walk around towns and do drives and things like that. Internet's sketchy up there, but as I know where I can go and stay on the internet, and I also know a lot of these places where as long as you stay in the little town, you'll keep the internet. I want to walk around and show you guys places like Helen, Georgia, and some really cool, neat places that are up there in the Georgia mountains that are just amazing. Dams and just huge roads up over the top of 6,000 foot mountains, and I may even go up to Brasstown Bald and pay for the little tram ride up to the top so I can show you guys that. There's a lot of neat things up there, and so I'm going to be doing a lot of this. I'm going to be up there by myself. I got to go up and work on the cabin anyway, so I'm going to be up there by myself. Heath's up there. He lives in the area, and we're going to be doing some stuff. On the 1st of November, I will not be doing a Sights and Sounds that day, but I know for a fact that I'm going to be at the Hamfest, the Stone Mountain Hamfest in Atlanta, Georgia, and it's one of the bigger Hamfests in the country, and I'm going to be there. Heath and I are going, and I'm really looking forward to that. So I will be carrying some of it live. I'm not setting up a live table or any of that, but what I am going to do is, if the internet will allow it, I'm going to go live from inside, and I'm going to walk around and show everybody all the different things going on there, talk about ham radio. It's going to be kind of cool. Let's see. Yep. Yeah, when you leave on a trip, if you do the math and you do the trial and error, we used to leave at 7 o'clock in the morning, and that just put us in Tampa at the end of rush hour. It was terrible. It put us at Atlanta at 5 p.m. in the afternoon. It was terrible, and we're just like, we can't do this anymore. And I told him, I said, if we leave at 4 a.m., everything lines up that we don't hit anything during a rush hour. And we've been doing that for 15 years now. We've been leaving at 5 a.m. from up there, because when you're coming home, if I leave at 5 a.m., at 6 a.m., I'm driving through the middle of Atlanta, and I'm putting it in my rearview mirror. And by 6:20, I'm south of the Beltway, and I'm heading for Macon. Atlanta's a bad memory. You can still smell it on the upholstery, but it's a bad memory. Anyway, I have a love-hate with Atlanta. I love Atlanta. It's neat. What a shithole. Anyway, let's see here. Yeah, I keep some food up there. I mean, I don't go crazy. I'm too old to think that I'm going to be one of the last ones alive. I actually am at the point now where I'm kind of a feeder. When they start chasing, push me down, because they'll get busy with me and you guys can escape and get away. I became a feeder about 10 years ago. My lungs don't work right. My legs, my back's shot. Even my eyes are getting worse, and it's just to the point where you're probably better just pushing me down. Tech Talk in there. I love it. I love the Tech Talk. All right, let's see here. What else is going on? Let me see if I can get some other information going here for you guys. So that's what's going on with the YouTube thing. So what else is going on today? Bank of America and Bank New York Mellon sued over alleged financial ties to the Epstein related accounts. This Epstein thing is just still going on, and I don't want to get a whole discussion going on that again, because all it is Biden knew, Trump knew, they're both on the list. I don't care. Anyway, California governor vetoes a bill limiting air pollution regulation. That California has become so overregulated when it comes to air pollution. Their gas is just ridiculous. The factories are moving. They're moving to Nevada and Texas. All of the refineries or factories, anything that can afford to move is moving. There's even a lot of stuff popping up along the Gulf Coast in Texas from California. Big stuff. And the reason it's all moving is a lot of it is the tax. Because when you hire someone in California, you know, they're getting 7% more taken out of their income. It's more, everything's more expensive. Your business taxes are more expensive. Your property taxes are more expensive. There's more regulation. There's more bullshit with the fire marshal. There's more bullshit with the county code enforcement. Everything's just a regulated mess in California. You know, all those wildfires burned down thousands and thousands and thousands of homes. I think they've issued 45 permits to rebuild homes. They just can't get their shit together. I don't know what's worse, the fact that the fire trucks pulled up and the hydrants were empty because of bullshit, because nothing works right out there, or is it that that nothing was prepared or nothing was ready for when these big fires happen? Or what's worse, is it the aftermath where these people can never rebuild their house because they're still waiting around for some guy to show up with a clipboard and tell them they can start building their house? Yeah, Bill Maher. Bill Maher's in the middle, but he's generally reasonable, and I have some respect for Bill Maher. My host Trey's been on his show a couple times, and he said it's probably the funniest show he's ever been on. Bill Maher's a funny guy, but he takes a hard line on the left sometimes, so I have a hard time back and forth with him. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, the state's already, California is already in such huge debt, and they're just tripling down on it. We have that problem here, and I'll tell you how we deal with it here. Like after the flood here, our county starts running ads on TV. Don't forget, if you're fixing your house, you need a contractor and you need a permit. And every time that ad would come on, I would, F you. These people's homes have been flooded. Even if they have insurance, they're only going to pay for 70% of the restoration. If you got $1 million house and they're only going to pay for 70% of the restoration, you're still in for 90 grand or something to get back up. It's a lot. I'm telling you, my mother had it up to the light switches. Okay? She was still in the house. Had it up to the light switches. Tough woman, I'll tell you. And we ripped everything out. Right? And not the plugs or the studs, but we ripped all the drywall out, all the flooring, everything, all the cabinets, all the vanities, all out. And we had to put it all back. The county wanted us to go get a contractor and pay a contractor to do it. We called contractors, right? Because FEMA gave us some money, we had some money, we wanted to get it fixed. We started calling contractors. They were wanting what the house was worth to put it back, because they were so backed up on work it would take 3 years to get started. And then you call the county, they're running 6 months out on permits. And you're like, screw you. And we just got friends and we put the house back together. And had we followed all the rules, my God, it's like flood insurance. Had my mother never got flood insurance on that house, she hadn't had it for, I don't know, 30 years. And down here, it's a completely separate insurance. Flood insurance on that house the year before it flooded, flood insurance on that house would have been $3,500 a year. Had my mother paid flood insurance on that house, going back, all the way back, had she paid flood insurance on that house, because it sat there unflooded for 53 years, okay? Had she been paying insurance, protracting it back, dropping it 4% per year, I did all this math, by the way. Actually, I had AI do it. If you protract it back and then you add it all back up, my mother would have ended up spending about $190,000 on insurance in the 53 years she would have had the house at that point. FEMA gave her $42,000, and it's a one-time shot when you're in a bad disaster. It's a one-time deal. And it was such a bad storm, we qualified for everything down here, and we got it, and it was good. That's what the government's for, to help you out when you really need it. Not to give you food stamps for the rest of your life, but to help you out when you really need it. She got that money. We put the house back together with that money. Now, a flood came 2 years later and took it all back out again. But the point is had she paid for that flood insurance, it would have cost her 4 times what it ended up not costing her anything. She was able to put the house back for about $15,000. And we went and bought a lot of secondhand furniture that was in really good shape, and it's really nice, you know. Of course, it all got flooded out again. She's on her 3rd set of furniture now. But see, that's the problem with insurance, is it's a gamble. And even if you win the gamble, you still lose, because they don't make you whole. They only pay 75% of what you need to get back on your feet again. And in this particular case, I think my mother was much better off over the years never paying that out. Could you imagine what my brother and I's Christmases would have looked like over the years if she was paying back then $900 a year for flood insurance? I mean, it's just disgusting when you start thinking about how expensive it is. But I also see the other side of it too. When a storm comes down here, it ruins 100,000 houses. And that has to be absorbed by the 7 or 10 insurance companies that issue flood policies down here. And you have to remember, down here you have homeowners and you have flood. It's 2 completely different insurances. See, in many states, the homeowners includes flood. Or you can buy a flood rider on your homeowners. You can't do that down here. Flood is a completely separate insurance. And you could be paying $1,800 a year for your homeowner's insurance and have cheap homeowner's insurance that won't cover much at all, and that still doesn't cover you for flood. If the water comes down, you're covered. If it comes up, you're not. Doesn't matter if it's fresh or salt. If the rain floods up and floods into your house, or if the tide floods up and floods into your house, it doesn't matter. That's flood insurance. And so it really is messed up down here. Over half the houses down here don't have flood insurance on them. So when something happens and the county starts, you got to get a permit. Well, nobody can afford to sit around and wait 3 years for a contractor that wants what the house is worth to put the drywall back in it, put the cabinets back in it, and fix everything that's wrong with it. They're wanting about what the house is worth. Insurance is a scam. It's a complete scam. You know, you get into a major car wreck. I have a family member got into a bad car wreck. They rendered default at 50-50, which didn't matter because Florida's a no-fault state anyway. But the point is what ended up happening? The insurance company only satisfied about 70% of his loan, and he had to pay the rest of that off. So now he's on the side of the road, no car, right? Owes $2,800. And the next day he can't get to work because he has no car. So when he bought the car, he had a trade-in. So he's bought the car. He got a $3,000 bonus at the beginning when he bought the car. Next time around, he's starting out $2,600 or something in the hole. Insurance doesn't help you. He had absolute full coverage and gap, and it didn't cover it. I'm like, what? How can you call it gap if it doesn't cover it? My mother's car was destroyed in that first flood, Hurricane Ian. She had primary insurance, full coverage, and GAP. They sent her a bill for $1,200 for another year. I'm like, they're not getting that. They can kiss my ass. We had full insurance and GAP, and they're telling us we owe 12. They just suck. Insurance is disgusting. It's worthless. Worthless. Even health insurance, I could make some tough arguments on too, but I'm going to leave that one alone tonight. Yeah, and what gets me is if they don't get their money, they suspend my account and they suspend my insurance immediately. But when I need them, they take a year to pay me. There's people down here still in court waiting on money from insurance companies, people who had their roof ripped off during Ian. Still waiting. Insurance company, we'll give you $4,000. The roof's gone. Everything inside's wet. We'll give you $12,000. The roof's gone. Everything inside's wet. Are you hearing me? That's the way it is. The insurance is just terrible. Let me tell you what, insurance has a really bad name down here right now after these hurricanes, after 3 floods, 3 hurricanes, damage up and down the coast, plus Irma before that, plus Charlie before that. We've had a lot of hurricanes here, and people are never being made whole by insurance. And I'll tell you, people are getting damn sick of it. I'm telling you, they are. People are getting damn sick of it. All right, and tonight we're testing out. If you guys could go over there and leave a thumbs up and a subscribe, I'd appreciate it. We're over on the backup channel tonight, and I'm up over there. There I am, right there on the backup channel. And I'm actually going out there too, so you could actually watch the show over there, although you're not going to see the protest. Over there, you're going to see 8 pleasant views of the world, but I'm doing this as a test. And that Linux machine is so smooth. I love it. I'm a Windows guy, but man, Linux is a smoother operating system. This one's very smooth tonight as well, but it's very smooth. I got a clock up there. I got all kinds of stuff going on, and so you can check that out there when you get a chance. If you could just go over there and throw a thumbs up and a subscribe. Do not hit the notification bell on the backup channel because it'll go off all the time and it's a pain in the ass. Well, Victor, that's the other argument. That's the argument the county makes. We make you have a contractor so that we make sure that when you put your house back, it's put back well, so that when someone buys your house after you die or 10 years from now or whatever, they know they're going to get, the walls are going to be right and the plumbing's going to be right and all that. I get all that. I'm not saying the county's wrong, and I'm not saying that my complete code enforcement anarchy is right, but I'm just saying, what do you expect people to do? There's not enough it'll take 3 years for these. There's still contractors working on roofs that were damaged 3 years ago. These roofs have had plywood nailed on top of them for years. There's some roofs that are on their 3rd or 4th set of blue tarps. It's still going on here. And it's partially because there's not enough contractors. It's partially because the county can't get off their ass and issue permits in a timely manner. And it's partially because a lot of people can't afford to go get a contractor to come in and do the work professionally when they're trying to put their family's home back. And in many cases, the family is sleeping in it while they're trying to put it back. I know people that were sleeping in a flooded home 3 nights after the storm. They had ripped all the drywall out, dried the house, bought kids for beds and stuff, and they were already living back in the house again. They hung up sheets around the bathrooms for privacy. I'm telling you guys, you have no idea. Floods are bad. If you've ever been through a flood, you know. Yeah, well, your insurance is never going to sue the other guy for you. The other guy's never going to sue your insurance company for them. They're both just going to make some agreement, some handshake, and you're going to get the smallest settlement possible. They're going to get the smallest settlement possible, and you don't have a lot of recourse because you can't afford $375 an hour for an attorney. Um, Here, you have to use a licensed contractor. They are licensed as a contractor. And then that contractor has to go and make sure that everybody he hires to contract with him to do the work, that they are all licensed to do the jobs that he's paying them to do. That's one of his jobs under the contractor's license. Um, but it's expensive when you have to buy a guy to come out and you have to get, whatever. It's just a lot. Um, oh yeah, Coco, I get it. I understand. And look, I have friends that work in the did work in the insurance business. I get it. I understand. It is what it is. It's a necessary evil. I'm not saying that it should all rot and burn in hell. I think it's mostly a scam because you always end up paying in more than you get back. You would be hard pressed to find anybody that would ever tell you, well, you know, I got back more than I ever paid into insurance. All it is a loan. You're giving them your money, they're holding it, putting interest on it, and then they give you back some of it when your house burns down. It don't even make sense. Because they're not even going to give it all back to you. They're not even going to give a lot of it back to you. Matter of fact, they're only going to give you about 40% of it back. It's probably about where it's going to fall. So yeah. Yeah. No, I understand. And like I said, if you own a nicer home and you have money, I mean, if you got some money, I would probably put insurance on it. Yeah. I'm saying for me, I don't make a lot of money. I got a small house. I got a little studio in the backyard. It doesn't behoove me to have insurance. Everything I have here has survived the Cat 4, Cat 3, a Cat 5, and two Cat 3s going by out in the ocean. So I'm pretty sure I'm okay here. Zappy, I completely understand that. I do. Listen, I'm a capitalist and I'm an entrepreneur. And I understand that. Don't misunderstand me. I'm just saying I think that they should write a policy that makes you whole and then charge you for it. Instead of making you feel like they're going to make you whole and then finding out they're not going to make you whole at all. That's all I'm saying. I do have some silver that I put away, not a lot, but a few thousand. I've got some reserves. I've also got a few things that are worth some money. I do have reserves, but I live as I go. I got two houses, so one burns down, I got another one. Um, that would need to be negotiated. All I'm saying is if I have a $200,000 home that's appraised by the county at $200,000 and it burns completely to the slab, that insurance company should pay me $200,000. That's what the house was worth at the moment, plus contents. They never pay you for contents. And that's all I'm saying. I'm not, like I said, am I anti-insurance? Oh, God, you know what? Kind of a little bit, yeah. But not really. I do have basic coverage on my car, but it's not on my car. I only have PIP and liability because the government requires me to have PIP and liability. Um, yeah, car insurance is nuts. I wouldn't pay it. Because here's the thing. That's why I buy my cars cash. I saved up $5,000 and I went down and I paid cash for my car. You can get a $7,000 or $8,000 car if you walk in waving cash around. And I got a nice car for cash The number one reason I don't ever pay for a car is because I won't pay for insurance. It's full coverage insurance. It won't even pay off your loan. And then you're on the side of the road, no car, and they still didn't completely pay off the loan. And now you have no down payment and no trade-in to get your next car. What was the purpose of even having insurance? You still owe the bank $2,000. I don't know. I'm just disenchanted with it. I've never once in my life had someone walk up to me and says, "Yeah, my house burned down, but man, insurance took care of me." Hey man, I was in a wreck. I rolled my car, but it's all good, man. Insurance bought me another one just like it. These are the things you never hear. I'll tell you another one you never hear. I got back surgery and it's great now. Yeah. But I'm not like anti-insurance people. I'm not even really anti anything with it. It certainly doesn't work for people like me that live a modest life, that own a few older homes, that owns an older car that I paid cash for, that doesn't live in a flood zone. I live 20 miles from the coast. I strap my house down, I board my house up, I do all the things I'm supposed to do. There's no reason for me to have insurance on any of this. If it goes, I just change my lifestyle a different way and live in the other house. But I don't. I'm just not going to waste my money on insurance. But if I had the money and I had a really, really nice house, I probably would. Like I said, I'm not hardline on this. I'm just saying, for me, for my mother, insurance would have wasted her. It would have bled her dry over the years, and she would be right back where she is right now. Do you believe what? I had a guy tell me the other day on some of these new cars what they have to do. Like, I know even 20 years ago there was cars where you had to take the front tire off to change the battery. There's some weird things now in these cars. There's like, if you want to change the light bulb, like I got 2 light bulbs in the front of my car. I want to change them to LED. To do it, I have to jack the car up and take the 2 front tires off. Then I have to have a special tool, which I bought, to take out this special plug. And then I open this door up and I reach way up inside there and I can take it off, and the wire's long enough that it will pull down out of the hole and I can change the bulb out. I gotta jack the front of the car up and take the tires off to put new turn signal bulbs in it. Now I love my Hyundai, I'm not bitching, but still. Yeah, like I said, not against it, but something's broken. I think we agree completely. It's a necessary evil, unfortunately. All right, so again, Red, I see that you were over there. I appreciate anybody that goes over to the other stream. It would be really nice if you could go over there. What we were doing tonight is we're testing the stream, because I'm going to let you guys know this coming weekend, this especially Saturday, but mostly over the entire weekend, I will be here live in this studio, and I'm going to be covering this civil unrest. It's going to be going on. You can see the all the costumes are out tonight. It's funny because American liberals are the only protesters in the entire world that protest with children's costumes on. So it's kind of cool because you can tell who you're watching. You know what I mean? I really don't understand that, but whatever. All right, so here we go. This is, there's the link to that video. If you guys could go over and do a thumbs up and a subscribe. Don't hit the bell, though. Just hit the subscribe. I'd appreciate it. We're trying to get the numbers up over there. We're at 534. I'm trying to get over 1,000 so I can go ahead and get things going over there. Oh, I haven't heard about that one, Victor. That sounds interesting. Yeah, my car had all incandescent bulbs in the front in the headlights, but I looked it up and it'll take LED replacements, and so I put all 4 LEDs in the front, and then I think I told some of you guys. Uh, I bought brand new driving lights. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Brand new. I got 2 of them for 45 bucks, 43 bucks. It was some little amount of money. They still have the factory plastic on them. I'm taking these to Georgia with me. And while I'm up there, at some point, I'm going to jack the front of the car up and put it up on blocks. I'll jack up the one side, put it up on a brick, jack up or a log. I've got these logs I use up there. And I'll jack up the other side, put on a log. I'll have the back tires chalked really good. And while I have it up there, I'm going to take the 2 front tires off. While those tires are off, it's going to make it easier to take the front bumper off, which you have to do. These things here actually help hold the bumper. These things here. So these lights go behind the bumper, so you have to take the bumper completely off, which is not that big a deal. I bought the 3-tool set to take all these plugs out. So while it's jacked up and I can work on it up there, and I have nowhere to go for 2 days in the car, I'm going to take the bumper off, and I'm going to put these 2 lights down on it, and I've got LED amber bulbs to go in here. They're going to look so cool in this. And then I got thinking about it. I might get creative. Because see this side piece right here? It doesn't do anything. Notice this piece right here, this whole area right here? It's just for looks. It doesn't do anything. The light doesn't shine in there. See what I mean? So I started looking. Now I'm thinking about ordering 2 little push plug type bulbs to go in there. And I'm thinking about putting parking lights in there. I think that would look cool. So I might do that. I haven't decided yet. But anyway, so I got these, and I also have a set of fog light, a set of they flash. They're driving lights. They're amber lights. They do all kinds of stuff. It's a set of like multi-purpose lights, really bright driving lights. They go on the front. So while I have the bumper off and while I have everything off, I'm going to mount those as well. So when I get all done, my car is going to have some really nice lighting in the front. So when I go out to do live drives and stuff like that and storm chase, I'm going to have all that stuff. Plus that light bar I bought, that light, you can just flip it on and it shines light all the way around the car and it doesn't flash. And when you do that, it's really bright. And so it's kind of neat now because if we're out filming, I can really throw a lot of light now. But anyway, I thought that was really cool. That whole driving light thing with the bulbs and those is about 90 bucks. I'm going to be able to put brand new LED driving lights on my car for about 90 bucks. Yeah, I think you can get away with amber headlights, but my headlights are white. My high beams are LED white. My low beams are LED white. And my driving lights, these are not the headlights, but the driving lights that are in the bumper, that's what those are. Those can be either amber or white. The only restriction in the front, of course, you can't ever use blue, and you can't use red to the front or the sides other than in the rear. Those are really the restrictions I'm dealing with, and I don't care about any of that. I have replaced all of the rear lights with LEDs. They're all bright as hell. They look really good. But the front, I'm still working on the turn signal bulbs and stuff like that. But I'm going to get all that while I'm up there, because while the bumper's off and while the tires are off, it's going to be really easy to go ahead and change those parking lights out too. And then I can get that car is in a weird position right now. It's a 2011. You know what's really interesting about that? It's too old. They're not making parts for it anymore because it's older, right? As far as like headlights and stuff, they're starting to discontinue. But here's the thing. There's a lot. The market is flooded with parts for these cars, and they're getting old now, so they're starting to come off the road. And so what ends up happening is the parts that remain out there get cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. These lights I bought probably at some time were $139 a piece. But right now, they're just trying to liquidate them because these cars are not getting any younger and they don't want to be stuck with lights for cars that are not around anymore. It looks huge standard because I'm holding it in front of the camera, but when it's on the car, it's the same, almost the same size as the headlight, but a little bit smaller, and it goes down in the bumper. I'm not sure if these are OEM or if they're brand new aftermarket. I don't know, but they're beautiful. They look great and they're heavy. They seem to be OEM, but I don't know. I don't really care. All my LEDs are aftermarket. I know because the turn signal ones I put in the back, when my channel is not coming in well because I'm way up north of my area and I'm listening to my radio station, when I put the blinker on, it goes and that's because I bought cheap turn signal bulbs, I think. All right, let's take a look at what's going on real quick. Let's see, we've been on about an hour and 8 minutes now. My name's Ian. This is Starship Adventures. We are broadcasting live tonight from Starship Studios, where it's a mess. I've been working in here all day. I want to show you down here, not all day, I worked in here up until 1:30 when I went to work to produce radio. Down here, you can see below me here, this is that's the Lennox machine that's doing the other channel right now. It's another gaming supercomputer with a very fast chip and everything in it, and it's got lots of RAM. That one running Linux runs, it's smooth as glass. I've never seen anything like it. And we've got this whole stream going on. And the neat thing is, my camera is a phone that I bought and ended up not using. It's an S10, and it's a nice phone. I bought it thinking it was the big one. It ended up being the mini version, and I didn't want to use it. So rather than send it back, I'm using it for my camera. I like it because I can see myself. I can see what it looks like in like a monitor, basically. And then that program sends the signal through my local internet into my system here, and guess what? It sends the same camera into both systems. Look at this, it's on both systems. What's really cool about that is that I'm on one camera, but my camera's on both systems. I only need one camera. That's really cool. And then audio, I just put another mic right here. This red mic right here is for the Lennox channel. I may go ahead. I'm probably going to consolidate the audio also into one audio source that I can then send to both machines. I've got a board over there. I'm probably going to put a board in, and I'm going to bring the mics into the board, and then I'm going to output the board into both computers. So we'll see how that goes, but that's what I got going on. All right, so anyway, we're broadcasting live from Southwest Florida, which is Fort Myers, and we are worldwide on YouTube. Post the crash that happened at about 7:55 tonight. YouTube experienced some kind of major malfunction, but they have recovered from it, and we're going to do this. This is the Sights and Sounds of Earth show, and we are on every night, just about, pretty much. We will be on every night this week and next week, and we're on every night at 9 p.m. if not earlier. On Saturday, I plan to be on all day and all evening through the night. It's going to be my Jerry Lewis telethon, if you guys know the reference I'm referring to. Jerry Lewis used to do that telethon all day and all night. He used to stay up 26 hours to do that telethon, and raise that money for the kids with muscular dystrophy. Jerry's kids, as they called them. And I used to always have such an amazing amount of respect for that man. But anyway, the point is like that, I'm going to be here all day and all night. I'm probably going to go live sometime late morning, maybe around noon. Remember, Chicago and Portland are hours behind me here in Eastern Time. Okay, so if I go on at noon, that's only like 10 or 11 o'clock in Chicago, and it's only like 9 o'clock in Portland. I don't know what time all this stuff's going to get started. I didn't see any hard times on the one that's supposed to happen here, but I suspect there's going to be live cameras up from all over the country, and there's supposed to be a lot of counter protesting, a lot of Charlie Kirk inspired counter protesting going on too. A lot of Trump supporters, a lot of ICE supporters that are going to be coming out. And when this happens, hey Bill, hey Michelle, and everybody that's here, I hope I didn't miss anybody. Standard, I think I said hi. But anyway, if I missed you guys, I'm sorry. Joe Patterson, hey, welcome to the show. Anyway, so when we do this coverage, I'm going to go live. As soon as I have enough cameras to fill the holes, I'm going to go live. I'm going to put tags on them to show you what town is what. Okay, and I'm going to try very hard to keep those right and keep them updated, but it's not going to be easy for me, I'm letting you know. That's very difficult when I start adding all the little tags, because now everything I change is twice as difficult. But I'm going to try. Also, once I get enough streams up on this one, we're going to go live, and then I'm going to start looking for more streams on this one, and I plan to go live on this one as well. And we're going to be using I'm going to be using the full 9 screen on both, so you'll be able to see 8 different scenes over here and 8 different scenes over here. So if you have 2 devices, you could literally pull it up on both devices, and you'd be able to hear me on either one. And I also will have sounds, left and right ear separate. I'll have scanner, I'll have natural sound from the event, plus my own commentary. We're going to have the flight tracker to see what's going on with the flights, because remember, we got the laser threats. There's threats to take down the choppers with laser beams that'll be fired into the pilot's eyes. Diabolical, the left is. And they also, I'm sure there's going to be at least 500 of those stuffed animals out there. This ought to be really fun. It's going to look like a protest in the 100 Acre Wood, if you know what I mean. Do I have any Winnie the Pooh fans out there? Come on. All right, anyway. Or was it 1,000 Acre Wood? I think it was the 1,000 Acre Woods. I don't remember. Anyway, you guys have to tell me. I love Winnie the Pooh. I got my Winnie the Pooh that I got when I was a year old up here in a bag right up there. 55-year-old Winnie the Pooh. I have a few sentimental things in my life, and that's one of them. Yep, SpaceX launched 21 satellites for Lockheed Martin today. That's correct. Yes, it is a crime to shine lasers at an aircraft. It's also a crime to burn down Target stores, but they don't care. Now, none of that's happened recently, but they don't really care about the rules that much. But we'll see how it goes. I think there's going to be some clashes, especially as we get closer to dark. And I think it's going to be a lot of crazy coverage, guys. I'm going to try my best. I'm a little nervous because I'm going to try to run 2 broadcasts at the same time. I'm not going to talk the whole time. I can't do that. It's not that kind of show. I will come in every 10 or 15 minutes. I'll read the headlines. I'll give you guys updates, and then I'm going to return you back to scanner and natural sound. I'm probably going to do scanners on one or natural sound on the other. I don't know. I'm going to play it by ear. Zappy, yes. Amen. It's despicable. It's disgusting. And it's stupid. They're standing under the damn thing. It drops like a safe. Yeah, it's pretty damn stupid. They apparently got thousands of these green lasers, and they've given them out to everybody, and they're all holding on to them. Well, last weekend, I kept telling you guys last weekend, Friday night, Saturday night, kept saying, "Where's the choppers? Where's it? No federal choppers, no local police choppers, no med choppers, no TV station choppers, no private sightseeing choppers, nothing. Literally like closed airspace." And then late Saturday, we figured out why. They caught wind of this whole laser thing going on. And then on Sunday, I hear a statement from one of the cops that's like, "Well, we heard about the laser thing, and so we didn't want to risk any of our aircraft. And so, that way it was kind of, we were out ahead of that, and it didn't affect anything and this and that." And I'm thinking, they took your air ops out by just threatening something. Don't tell me they didn't affect your operations. They took out your eye in the sky. They took out your biggest freaking advantage in the entire world by just saying they were going to do something. Don't say they didn't have any effect. Oh my God. I don't know. I don't know what I see. No lasers were ever shot in the air, so nobody really knows. It could be a complete hoax. I don't think it is. I also don't think it's going to be as dramatic as they think it's going to be. Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen those. You can buy a laser now for a couple $100 that will start fires. I mean, it will like burn through things, and you can cut through things with it. It's pretty cool. Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, what we're doing now is something else. And yeah, let's see what else. Oh, Zappy. I don't know about that notice, whether it was sent out or not. I don't know. I'm not sure how I would check that. I'm not into aviation as much as other things, but well, that's not going to happen. We're if you guys remember on Saturday this last week, we had the conservatives on one side of the street, the liberals on the other side of the street. The people who were pro-justice, pro-police, pro-America on one side of the street, and then we had basically the people who were anti-justice, pro-illegal immigration on the other side of the street. And they kept coming over and attacking the conservatives. It was really, it sucked. The one guy came over at one point and he hit some guy in the face with his fist, but he must have been holding a rock, because he hit this guy pretty hard. Yeah, you can buy lasers anywhere. You can buy them all the way up, like we said, to the ones that will actually laze through things, so light materials and stuff like that. Um, yeah, they've had these high-powered. They called them stellar lasers, or oh, there was another name for them. They were originally the one big thing they were using them for originally was like for instructors to point at the whiteboard, or out at night to point at the constellation you're talking about in the sky. It was used for instructional stuff, lasers at first, and tormenting cats. And then as they got stronger and stronger and stronger, they started pointing them at airplanes as if that was a good idea. I don't know what the hell that was all about. Boy, my throat's starting to go tonight. Wow. I know that so many things banned in other places. We don't have a lot of things banned here like that. I mean, you can, like lasers, you can have whatever you want. All right, I need about 2 minutes, guys. Excuse me. That's better. I was parched. Okay, where were we? A rock and a sock. People have no idea how dangerous that is. You can easily kill somebody with a rock and a sock. Or batteries. He used to throw a couple of D batteries in a sock. You kill somebody with that shit. All right, Troy's Reviews. Have a good night. Thanks for coming in. We're here every night at 9 p.m. Eastern, and we'll be here most all through the day Saturday. So we'll see you then. All right. What's going on tonight? Well, we're in Portland, of course, and we've got about 4 live shots here. It's duplicated a little bit, but doesn't look like a whole lot going on. The one right above me here, this one, that's Charles Bronson. I don't know if it's quit. I think he's just waiting for the light. Yep, it's still going. He's out cop watching in Fort Myers. Everything else is Portland, guys. Everything's Portland except this one right above me, right here. This one's not. This one is a cop chaser down here in Fort Myers. He's a civil rights guy, and he's watching the cops. Cops are a little bit tyrannical in this county compared to your normal cops. I do like cops to to not let things get out of hand, like in Portland and these places like that. So, but policing is a blend between what you need to do and what you have to do, and the Constitution must be the overriding rule in any kind of policing. Yeah, the zoo animals are back. I see that. I've already caught a couple of glimpses of them. They got these little coolers that drive around now, and I thought that was cool. You go to the beach and your cooler just follows you, I guess, and like it gets there after you do. No, I guess it's like food delivery or something. But I can't believe people don't mess with these things. First of all, you have to understand, I have no faith in the human race anymore. I look at everything as, how is humans going to screw this up? How are humans going to screw this next thing up? And so I can't believe those things can run around all day and not get messed with. But anyway, I don't know. There's one shot there that looks like there's a lot of people, but I'm not sure if what's going on with that. I don't have a whole lot of information on what's going on but I'm going to see what I can come up with real quick. A plane today carrying defense officials made an unscheduled landing. Apparently, while they were flying, the windshield became cracked. And so they landed the plane. Okay, here we go. Cybersecurity alert. Vulnerabilities threaten critical federal systems. They're reporting that they have been made aware of an imminent risk. I hate when you hit the reference button and it doesn't bring you to the article you're reading about. Damn, I hate that. Yeah, there's a lot more today on this. The government shutdown is causing all kinds of issues. This is a Democrat shutdown. The Republicans have offered a clean CR, meaning there's absolutely no reason not to just sign it, open the government back up, and then start to negotiate the next step. But you've got Schmuck Schumer up there that they can't seem to. He just has to be an asshole about everything, and so he's decided now that he's just going to keep the government shut down. We are on week 3 of the shutdown, ladies and gentlemen. Week ass 3 of the shutdown, and this shit is still going on, and it's absolutely ridiculous. Why did that stop going? We do have this area right here on the radar this green circle, there's a slight risk of severe weather tonight, and there is a couple of cells moving up. Let me reset. I'm telling you what, when you guys said there's issues on the internet, I've had 3 or 4 different services tonight not work properly, including now Radar Omega has froze up on me twice. And it normally doesn't do that. So here we go. These are what these storms are supposed to look like. Here they come. And not that severe. Let's put this on the side by side. Do we see any rotation as they come up? No, not really. Nothing that I would be overly concerned about. So yeah, that's why there's severe thunderstorm warnings there. There's 2 of them. And that's why those are not tornado warnings, because there's no rotation. So not really a big threat right now. If you're watching on Starship After Dark, come on over to Starship Studios and you can participate with us in the chat room. I'm not sure, Zappy. I went looking for more information on it and it didn't go there, but I'll try to get back to it. I'm not great with social media either. Back when I did ghost hunting, everything we did was on Facebook and Justin TV back then. Of course, Justin TV went away, and so did my 206 episodes. But that's a story for another day. I think that I was the most pissed in my life that day. Okay, the No Kings Rally. The No Kings Rally is this weekend. It's on Saturday. Local groups all around the country have put together a plan to bring people together at certain locations. I know there's one set up here in Naples, and they're going to show up at a certain time on Saturday, and they're going to protest. Now, when they say no kings, it doesn't really make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, Trump's not doing anything different than anybody else, really, when it comes to, like, being a king. These are the same people that says, there's not going to be an election in 3 years. You just watch. That son of a bitch is going to be the king forever. God bless America. The truth is, they call him, they're saying he's acting like a king. And that he's a dictator and a king and all this kind of bullshit. I personally think it's bad branding. I think it's shit branding, if you want to know the truth. I work in branding, okay? I know all about branding. I got one of the better branded channels you're probably going to find. And that's bad branding, what they did. I'm telling you, it's shit. No Kings Rally. If everybody has to ask what it means, then it's a bad name, first of all. The name should just be Rally for People with Trump Derangement Syndrome. That's what I think they should call it. Deploribus, I watched that video. I think it was you or somebody put on there. I watched it. I actually did about an hour's worth of research into it. And I actually was trying to find receivers on WebSDR and also on the SDR, the other one, whatever it is. SDR Sharp also has some receivers around the country. I was trying to find anybody near Portland or Chicago or LA that has a receiver that picks up 151 megahertz. Because MERS is on 151 dot something something megahertz. And what I want to do is I want to monitor MERS. If there's anyone out there that lives in one of these cities, and I mean in the city, not 100 miles away, you would have to live in Portland near where the protesting is going to be. But if I could find somebody, I would for $40 I could get them up and running with a receiver and an antenna and everything. It's not that expensive. And I might be able to, depending on where and what, I might even be able to send something. But I want to get a receiver up in these towns on MERS, either recording or on. I also would love to cross record the entire FRS and the entire GMRS frequency for the entire event, and so we can go back and pull all the audio out. And I ran into dead ends. I have no receivers, no way to receive the data. If you know what needs to happen, I would do it here, but I'm going to be on the air here, and the one here is not going to be that big a deal. But we need someone that's going to this rally. If they ordered the radio tomorrow, they could have a $25 Baofeng sent to their house overnight. I'll give them my number. They call me. I walk them through programming it. It takes about 10 minutes. And I can even spec out a wire that you can buy that will plug into your phone, and you can record the radio into your phone. There's all kinds of neat stuff we can do. I can explain how to do all that kind of stuff. The patch cables, the radio's 25 bucks. If you want an external antenna, like for your car or something, 25 bucks. The patch cable is like 10 bucks, and you can record it with any recorder or tablet or anything. I'm just saying, I'm very interested in these radio communications, but I have no way of getting them. MERS, for those of you who don't know, MERS is multi-use radio service. It's a set of channels that pretty much anybody can use. They just don't tell you about it. And you can buy a Baofeng, any Baofeng radio, any cheap Chinese radio for 20 or 25 bucks, and you can program these MERS frequencies into it, and you can use them, and you're legal. And there's also FRS. That gets a little complicated, but you can program those in there. You can program GMRS in there, which is the general mobile radio service, and the FRS, which is the family radio service. You can program all of these into that radio, plus the ham radio channels, plus in Minitown, the fire channels, the law enforcement. You can put in the trains, you can put in the weather radios. I suggest everybody in here tonight buys them a $25 Baofeng two-way radio. And I will love to, I'll come in here one night and show y'all. We can all program them together. I'd love to do it. I think it should be in every emergency kit, and you should have it programmed with certain channels. I'll even make the program, so all you have to do is download the program, download the free program called Chirp, download my code plug that I made for you, copy it over. It's a 5-minute process. I'll show you how to do it, and then you'll have everything in your radio: MERS, FRS, GMRS, the entire Marine band, including Marine 16, the emergency calling channel. You'll have the you can have all the amateur radio in your area, including the emergency frequencies for them. You can Skywarn. You can also have all the frequencies in there for all the weather radios. So when you're traveling around, you can flip it around and always have a NOAA weather radio that works. Take that same radio again and look up the business frequencies, the school frequencies. You can go right into that radio and into Chirp and download all of the frequencies for that area. And I think this is something, I really think this is something that everybody should do, whether you're in the ham radio or not. This is something that's so cheap and so just incredibly inexpensive. I'll get the new version later. All right, I want to show you guys this. Let me get this set up. Give me just a second. Okay, so I got this program called Chirp, right? It's free. And once you get into Chirp, you just basically load. Oh, Christ. You just basically load your. I want to make it to where you can see the whole program here. There we go. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to download your code plug from your radio. Right here, radio, download. You set it for the type of radio that you have, the COM port, the radio. This is all very simple, very easy to do. And then you'll read your radio. And when you read your radio, it's going to look something like this. This is one of the current programs I'm using. When you read your radio, there it is. There's all the frequencies in your radio. There's the name that shows up on the display. There's the type of squelch, and I'll explain all this. I'll send you the program so you don't even have to worry about it. Just put it in your radio. But here's all the different things, whether you want to scan it or not, what kind it is, FM or frequency modulation. But I'll send this so you don't have to type all this in. I'll send it to you. And then all you do is hook up the cable and blow this into your radio. You always download your radio, select all of the channels you want, copy, paste them into your code plug, and send them back to your radio. That's all you got to do. This is so easier. It is Sludgeon. It's very easy because when you're in here, let me show you something. Let me start a new one. Okay, here's a brand new one where I'm going to start building a channel list. Okay, now let's say I want to build a channel list. I can query a source. Okay. And I can do it using radio reference or repeater book. Okay, if I go to one, I put in the information I want. What kind of service do I want, amateur or GMRS? And then I click all the bands I want. I click whatever I want. I put in my latitude and my longitude. You type in that stuff and you hit go, and it brings you all of the amateur and GMRS radio frequencies right into the program, which is really nice. And then there's the other one. You can bring in query source. You can also bring in radio reference. And on this one, oh, I have a password, but I'm not sure what it is. Hold on. Whoops. All right, and I'm going to put in my zip code here, and I'm going to hit go, and it queries it. You can go create an account here if you want. It doesn't cost anything. And then look at this. It pulls in everything about my town. I want you guys to see this. It just pulled in all the frequencies for my town, okay? Look at how many of them there are. Let me show you what's in here. Lee County Fire Dispatch, Riverdale Senior High School, Lehigh Senior High School, Three Oaks, Riverdale, Oak Hammock High School, Sunset Elementary School, Cape Coral High School, Treeline Elementary School. These are all schools. Fort Myers Amateur Radio Club, Racey's channel. That's the local EOC channel. FMRSA Club Link. Those are all amateur radio. LCEC, that's my electric company. I can actually turn my radio over to channel 52 and listen to my electric guys out running trouble on the meters and stuff. FedEx Ground, Hampton Inn, the Pink Shell Resort. These are all licensed radio frequencies. There's the Hyatt, SSR, whatever that is, Pink Shell, Barefoot Beach, Spanish Wells. These are all big resorts that have bought call signs and frequencies. And then here we go. This gets into ground and tower frequencies for the airport. Yep, here's all your airline stuff. Some of the radios will receive this, some won't, depending on which model you buy. But there's all the page field ops. These are for both of our airports. So look at that. I was able to pull up 127 frequencies that are ready to use and just copy them to my radio and blow them in. And I can just go through them and it'll say whatever it says right here on the display on my radio. That's how easy it is. Yeah, Chirp will work on a Linux. I think if not through Wine, I don't know if there's a Linux version, but I know it'll work on Wine. Lee County Racies. No, not Racies. Racies, Aries and Racies is the amateur radio emergency service teams. They don't do a whole lot anymore, but they are still out there. They do practice. Aries stands for Amateur Radio Emergency Service, and Racies is I forget, whatever. But those are the emergency services through amateur radio. So that's Chirp in a nutshell. But let me show you something else you can do. Okay, let me go and select all of these and delete all of these. What the hell are you doing? All right, anyway, I'm not going to worry about deleting. I'm just going to show you what I'm going to show you. All right, so you can go over here to File, and where's it at? I already did this one. Oh, stock config. See right there? See stock configuration? You go into stock config, and right there, these are all kinds of things you can download. See, you want the ones that say US. There's NOAA Weather Radio. Look, I click that, and there's all the NOAA Weather Radio stations already pre-programmed. Then all you do, pick the top one, hit Shift, pick the bottom one, Control Copy, and go over to your other sheet and paste them into your radio, right where you want them. So they're on the channels you want them on in your radio. You can also open stock config. Here is Marine Band. You hit that and look at that. There's everyone, C1 all the way through C88. All the channels are in there, and they're all programmed to work. There's C16. That's the distress channel. But there's all of the marine channels, so you can turn your little $15, $30 Bofang into a fully functioning 5-watt or 10-watt marine radio, just like that. And you can, let's go back to File, open stock config, MERS. Remember we were talking about MERS? There's your MERS channels. There's your 5 MERS channels right there. Open stock config, FRS and GMRS. There you go. There they are right there, already pre-configured. And all you do is copy those, paste them into your radio. Your radio holds 1,000 channels. So you can have literally every channel. That's why this is something that should be in your go bag. And then when you're out there, you can even type in frequencies if you get ones that you don't already have programmed. I have 800 of the 1,000 programmed channels programmed. I've got Blairsville channels, Atlanta channels, I got Tampa stuff in there, I got all the stuff here, Naples, Fort Myers, I got the statewide SARNet, every single repeater, I got MERS, I got FRS, I got GMRS, I got everything you could ever imagine in there. And mine picks up aircraft, so I've got all the aircraft stuff in there. Yeah, some Walmarts use MERS, other Walmarts use FRS, and either way, you can program it all in your radio, and then you can go to Walmart and find them. And then every time you go to Walmart, you can wear a radio around listening to them. Say, I got you. Let's see, stock config. Let's do 1 or 2 more here. Stock config. Here's all the calling frequencies. Look at that, 6 meter, 2 meter, 220, 70 centimeter call. Those are the amateur radio calling frequencies. Those are like the the channel you would go to get help or to find somebody. And then open stock config. You've got California Railroad channels, aviation frequencies, 60 meter channels, and then you got, these are all other countries: Germany, UK. There's the EU. These are their different channel sets. There's the California FRS, or no, not. I forget what that is, but yeah. Anyway, the point is they're all there. So when you go to program your radio, it's really easy because you don't have to sit there and type in all the little numbers. I hardly ever go and fill out the thing myself anymore unless I'm adding something that I just don't have. Yeah. So there you go. That's my quick little deal with Chirp right there. I hope you guys enjoyed that. But buy yourself. I'm a little bit of a freak. Here's my radio box. Yeah, I'm a bit of a freak. When I go camping or I go in the woods or I go do stuff, this box has all of my different stuff in it. It's got my go-to radios in it. This one's a TYT 9800. They've got little ones like this, little UV82, and you can buy the extended battery for the UV82. There's all kinds of them. I got a bunch of them here that are small, like there's a UV5R. This one has the 220, also the 220 band, and there's a little K-Sun digital radio. I got so many radios here, dude, I don't even know what to do with them all. And there's a Quan Shang with a mini antenna on it. And I have a lot of these different antennas. This stuff's all relatively inexpensive. But what I would buy if I was you is I would just take and buy a standard UHF, VHF Baofeng radio. If you get one of the newer ones, if you want advice on it or you want to ask me anything about it, send me an email at my call sign KO4EFS. I'd be glad to help you to make sure that you get the right radio, because it's important that you end up getting the right radio for whatever your needs are. You may buy a radio that you want to go listen to aircraft, and aircraft are your thing. Well, not all these radios pick up aircraft, so you want to make sure that it receives aircraft frequency. Okay. Anyway, that's my radio box. It's literally a box full of about 9 different working and about 5 different non-working radios. Hey, the Lone Silencer, what's up, man? Yeah, almost all these radios have a flashlight built in. Yeah, like our forestry service down here still uses VHF, and I have them programmed into mine. And when there's big fires, I can still listen to them going out there. Most police and fire are off of those radios. They're on the higher ones now. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't have it in your go box. Remember, Marine 16, you can get emergency service on that if you're anywhere near the coast. You can actually call U.S. Coast Guard. You can get on there and you can call a Mayday. Even if you're not in a boat, you're allowed to violate any radio rules at all as long as a life is in danger. And you have to prove, it has to be pretty obvious, but as long as there's a life in danger, you can go on there onto a marine radio and make a distress call, even on land, because that's legal, because it's an emergency. It has to be a life and death emergency. 10 watts a lot for a handheld. I have a handheld that's 8 watts and I have one that's 10 watts. You got to be careful with those. If you key them up next to a computer monitor, you'll mess it up. 10 watts is a lot of juice. They really put out about 8 or 9, I mean almost 10, and yeah, it's a lot of wattage. But for a lot of people that don't want to put base radios in their house and all that, they might just want to put a radio there and then run an antenna up on the roof and put a magnet mount up on the metal roof or something. That works really good on a 10-watt portable, because you've got a roof mounted antenna and you're putting out a nice amount of wattage. Those tend to do really good. I know people that have bought those UV25s and those UV17Rs and all those, the 10-watt ones, and they just make a base radio out of them, basically. Most of them now plug into the back with a USB, so you can literally just Velcro it somewhere or put it somewhere, however you want it. So, and it's always charging, and you have to get a little breast mic for it, and you've got a base radio. It's great. Yeah, I assume you have VHF there, very high frequency. Um, yeah, when you get in the mountains too deeply, the trunking systems become very problematic, and it becomes brute strength where you just buy big watt radios and you power through it. Um, oh no, it doesn't. That's why the UV25 is what I suggest, even though it's a very big radio. If you're going camping or stuff like that, you want to have a lot of battery and you want to have a lot of radio, and that's why I suggest the UV25. Is what cops. Most cops are not on these radios anymore, but some still are. Yeah, QYTs and TYTs are made at one factory, and Baofengs and Quanshengs are made at the other factory. There's like two big radio factories, from what I understand, anyway. I don't care. I like my cheap Chinese radios. I don't care. Besides, it's fun with your friends, and you're in Walmart and someone's like, "Hey, I wonder what what the hell's going on," and you pull out your radio and say, "I don't know. Let's find out." uh, yeah. And here's the thing. As long as you don't hit the transmit button, every channel is legal. You're allowed to listen to everything. You can listen to scrambled military traffic on 350 megahertz. You can even find a way to descramble it and listen to it. It's still legal. The moment you press the transmit button, you have to be legal or you're illegal. It's that simple. If you're on FRS, you have to be talking on an actual FRS radio. You can program FRS into these, and you can even use it on these, but technically to be legal, you can't. But everybody does. The GMRS radio, same thing. You program it in there, it works great. You're allowed to talk on GMRS as long as you get a GMRS license. $35, no test. I suggest everybody in here has a GMRS license. It's what all the preppers and survivalists are doing. Well, a lot of the encrypting is going away. There's been a big pushback by constitutionalists like myself that believe that law enforcement should not be allowed to scramble their radio traffic, and that their transparency is more important than any other consideration. And so a lot of places like LA went completely encrypted, and within 2 years there was enough of an uproar that they got it back. Now we just encrypted here, and our sheriff here is into secrecy. He won't even speak to the media. It's been over a year since he's even done an open interview with the media, and he just doesn't feel like he has to answer to people. But yeah, go ahead and get your ham license back. It's worth it. I don't know if you have to retest or not. I'm not sure what the rules are, but get it back. At least your tech. Oh, okay, Deploribus. Those are nice radios. Um, yeah, there's three kinds of radios. There's a radio that has the mic, and the controls are on the front. And then there's a second kind of radio, which is a split radio, where you've got the big part that goes under the seat and just a little control part that goes up on your dashboard with the mic. And then there's a third kind of radio where you basically, the mic has a bunch of controls on it, and the radio controls are the mic. There is no actual other part. The other part's under the seat. And my suggestion is be careful if you're going to go to a two-piece radio or a mic control radio. Where's your speaker? Always important. Spend the $25, get you a nice speaker and put it up behind your head and plug it in underneath the seat to the controller box. And that way you'll be able to hear things. If the mic has the speaker in it, you're not going to be happy with the quality, I can tell you that right now. And if the speaker is in the big part of the radio, that's going to be under your seat. You're not going to be happy with the sound quality on that either. There's even some of the radios that will allow you to use both speakers at the same time. You're not going to be happy with that either. If you're going to mount a radio in your vehicle, mount the thing to where the speaker on the radio is in a good spot for you to hear the speaker on the radio, or mount an extension speaker. And I suggest you mount that above your seat belt, right here, above your head. Right above your seatbelt receiver right there. There's just enough room there to mount a speaker in most cars. If you mount it there, then when you turn your radio on, even if you have passengers in the car, you can turn it down and listen to both things at the same time, and it doesn't disturb your passengers. We went and mounted Motorola speakers behind every seatbelt rack in both sides of every truck. It was something I started doing when I got there because I couldn't hear the radio that well. They had the radios under the dashboards, and in a big 1969 tanker, and I'm driving down the road, I can't hear a damn thing on that radio. And then I pull up with the lights on and everything, and they're like, "We canceled you 5 minutes ago." And I'm like, well, I can't hear the damn radio when I'm in fifth gear. So we started mounting speakers right behind the seatbelt thing and ran the wire down the B post and into the radio. And man, it works great. All right. Enough of radios. Let's get on to something else. I'm surprised I've kept as many people as I have. Yes, I know somebody that has an Hack RF. I haven't played with it. The problem with some of those, like the transmitting ones and stuff, they don't put out much wattage. You have to use them with a booster or kicker. Yeah, I don't like that we can't hear the police either. I think that's ridiculous, and we're fighting it here too. But there's not, you just have to keep the heat on and hope you can eventually get it turned around. Furby's on meth. That's what we're looking at here. Look at that. That's an angry crab. That crab came all the way from the ocean to tell us to stop deporting illegal people. Please stop deporting illegal people because it's not their fault or something. Stop deporting illegal people. I'm a crab. Crab people. Crab people. I know you guys know where that's from. No, I cannot hear the sheriff's department here. Nope. They are encrypted. Let's see if we can pick up some natural sounds here on, what is that, Browser 3.
Should not be able to have guns. I think anybody on SSRIs should definitely not be able to have a gun. I think if you're a felon, like a violent felon, you shouldn't be able to have a gun. Yeah, but that's already all true. It's so hard to, have you ever tried to get a gun? There's so many processes you have to go through. It's not easy. So even criminals, even if you took away guns from all law-abiding citizens, criminals are gonna get guns no matter what. They ban murder. Murder happens every day. So you ban guns, it's not gonna do nothing but stop law-abiding citizens.
Okay, so far I'm kind of agreeing with this kid.
I think everybody should be able to.
You got nerd sniped.
all over the country, because if people knew that everybody was concealed carrying, there would be far less gun crimes. Because just having a gun and showing it has stopped way more crimes than have happened. Just having a gun and people knowing that you'll be able to defend yourself stops so many crimes.
Okay, he can't be on the left because he's talking sense. All right, anyway, yes, the No Kings Rally, as they call it, No Kings Rally, which, like I said, probably the worst branding ever. But the No Kings Rally is, in fact, this Saturday, the 18th. There's also a number of groups around the country that are going to hold counter-protesting in honor of Charlie Kirk and in honor of Donald Trump and what and the fact that they like what he's doing. And so there's going to be a lot of that. You have to remember the reason these protests aren't that big. Okay, there's several reasons. Some of it's demographics, some of it's timing, but a lot of it is the fact that 78% of United States citizens, when polled in large numbers, 78% want illegal immigrants removed from the country. That's 78%. So that only leaves 22% of the people that feel that illegal aliens that did not follow due process coming in should be allowed due process now and be allowed to stay. And so since the percentage is so small, when we're dealing with George Floyd, over 50% of the population believes that the cops should stop killing people, and 50% of the population believes the cops should stomp his ass because he's a druggie or whatever. So that was very heated, and that one there, almost 50% sided on the side of George Floyd. That's a much higher percentage than 22% in these ICE/No Kings/Trump derangement syndrome rallies. Yeah, we have concealed and open constitutional carry in Florida. Everyone here that's not a felon can carry a gun. Of age, of course. Yep. Buffalo, New York. I had a firefighter buddy that said he moved down here from Buffalo, New York after some big snow they had up there. He said there was a hatch on my roof, and we always joked about it. He goes, one day I'm up there opening that hatch to get out of my house. I laughed at that. It was so funny. Oh my God. Yes, I don't want to relitigate George Floyd, please. Let's not relitigate George Floyd. Okay? George Floyd wrong, cop wrong. The degree of wrongness I don't want to argue, okay? That's the big one, James. That's the big one. Every time an illegal comes in, it's screwing it up for people that are trying to come in illegally. These people are waiting years. They're paying thousands. They're doing everything right because they want nothing more than to be a legal member of our community and our society. And by allowing all these illegals to jump the line, lie, cheat, and steal to get in here is certainly not fair to the ones that came here legally. That's why Donald Trump finds so many naturalized citizens voting for him now. The number of naturalized citizens that voted for Republican is at an all-time high. And why is that? They came here legally. The last thing they want is to see people jumping the line ahead of other people like them that are coming here legally. And the number two class of people number two group of people they lost was Cubans. We've got a lot of Cubans here in Florida, and we love those folks. They are hardworking. They're honest folks. They come here. They are staunch conservatives. The last thing they want is this socialist horseshit that they just came from in Cuba. And I love talking to Cuban people. We have Cubans call our show all the time and thank us for being on the radio and thank us for being a conservative voice and thank us for letting them come on. And they always come on and say how stupid the Democrats are. They're doing the same thing that happened in Cuba. They saw what happened in Cuba, and the last thing they want is socialism and communism and all these things that are being brought on by the left. And the right, we have the Cuban vote now. By large numbers, we have the Cuban vote by a huge majority. And even Mexicans and even South Americans that are here legally voting for Trump now because they're sick of people busting in line. So yeah, you're absolutely right. Cubans are the best refugees. They're the best people because when they come here, they have nothing. They see it. They came from it. I think we should have every one of them when they come over. If their English is good enough, let's get them in a classroom and let's teach these young kids. I want them to come in and teach for an entire week on what they witnessed over in their country before they left. The government, the oppression, the famine, the brand new looking 1970s cars driving around. That's where the left really miscalculated. They figured that all immigrants would like them to be light on illegal immigration, and that is just not the case. The legal immigrants don't want illegal immigration, period. It makes sense. And that's another big miscalculation that they had, absolutely. Yep. Yep, no, that's true. It's very true. All right, there's not a whole lot else going on tonight. I'm not going to stay on too much longer. I've already done my 2 hours for God and Country. Let's see what else is going on here. I want to take a quick look at one thing real quick before I let you guys go and see if it's worth bringing your attention to or not, because I haven't even had a chance to look at it. Okay. The GFS was showing that big, horrible, nasty storm down in the Caribbean November 1st, or right around Halloween. And today it's kind of off that now. But it still is showing a lot of instability and a lot of low pressure down there in the Caribbean as we get into 25th, 27th, 28th of October. So there is a small window there where something could form in the Caribbean. However, it's looking likely that it won't be a Gulf storm. It might go north. So we'll have to see. My cats are doing okay. I have one that disappeared on me. She was real sick. She's very old, and she's disappeared on me. Mama Bleeper. So everybody give me a prayer for Mama Bleeper tonight. I hope she's okay. She has 2 or 3 times in her life she's gotten very sick like this and run off, and then she shows back up a week later all weird and messed up. I don't know if that's going to happen this time because she's 10 years old, and she's probably getting near the end of life. She was an inbred cat that's been very sick 2 or 3 times. I've nursed her back to health 2 or 3 times. Her fur turned from black to white one time after an illness. So, I mean, she's a cat that's really messed up. And she got a really bad sinus infection and then took off on me. So she probably went off to die. It's a cycle of life. I'm trying to keep it in perspective. I love that little girl. I really wish she would have stayed here so I could have put her down in a more pleasant way. But this is what cats do. She's an outdoor cat. She was a feral cat that I worked with for several years. And finally, she had a litter of kittens, brought her kittens to me to help her take care of. And then I was able to get her fixed. And then she's lived with me for years now. So anyway, I hope she's either okay, or I hope that she's passed on. And either way, I hope it went okay. And I'd like to get her back if she's still out there. So I go out and call her twice, 3 times a day. I go walk around the house and call her. I have a very strange thing about cats. They go off to die, they don't die, they come back. I had a cat that was 16 years old. His name was D. He was my big man. He was just this big, he looked like a turkey, he was so big. And he got kind of sick, and his lungs filled up, and he got a little sick. And we were monitoring him, and then all of a sudden he's gone. We can't find him. Mostly an indoor cat, but does go out during the day. We lost him, couldn't find him, and we wrote him off. I wrote him off. I told everybody my cat that I had for 16 years is passed. He's dead. He's gone. And I'm sitting here one morning out here working on something on YouTube, and I look over at the camera, and he's sitting outside the door. And he was very thin and everything. And I nursed him back to health and got about 18 more months out of him, and then had to go put him down. But he did have some quality of life at the end. So just 3 weeks ago, Miss Shadow Lynn, my big black cat, started getting snotty and not feeling well. And then she disappeared 5 days. I called Carlotta. I said, I think your cat's dead. I don't see her. She's not coming around. And then 2 hours later, she comes walking up all sick and hadn't eaten days. And so I haven't wrote her off yet. But I'm just coming to the realization that it may be that she's gone. I don't know. So anyway, thoughts and prayers for Mama Bleep. Hopefully she'll either make it home or she'll make it home, whichever. All right. I have a thing with cats. I can't. I love taking care of them. They're my babies. I've never had babies. I've never even knocked up a chick I don't claim. I've never paid child support. I've never had babies. But I've taken care of cats. I love cats. They're my babies. You know, I hate the sound like they're my fur babies and all that. But you know what, dude? We all have to take care. If you've got a heart, you've got to take care of something. That's kind of something. It's a human thing. And I love my cats, and I love taking care of them. Yeah. Oh, I hope she's okay. We'll just have to leave it there. All right, guys, I'm going to sign off soon. Last call for the chat room. I'm 2 hours and 15 minutes in. And I just want to do a quick reset here, give everybody about 10 more minutes, and I'm going to head out. Everybody, my name is Ian. This is Starship Studios. We are broadcasting tonight not only on our primary channel, Starship Adventures, but we're also broadcasting. I just moved this computer over here today. That's why the studio is such a mess. We're also broadcasting, simulcasting my audio and video along with 8 different videos over on the Linux machine on Starship After Dark. So you guys can check that out. There's, oh, that ain't gonna work. Hold on. Oh, I'll put the link up for you. There it is. If you guys haven't done it yet, it would really help us out a lot if you could go over there and give it a thumbs up, hang out for a few minutes. Don't just click in and click out, and check it out. Basically, it's the same thing you see here. I've got a 9 grid going, and it's the same camera, the same audio that you see on this channel. And come Saturday, I am planning, because everything's working great, I'm planning to have 2 full broadcasts going on. I'll be on both of them. I'll be answering both chat rooms, and I'm going to have 8 videos on here. Here's a shot of the studio. I'm gonna look at the mess and see the mess over here. All that still has to be reinstalled or put wherever it's gonna go. But I've got all this. This is done all the way around here now. I redid all this. I cleaned all the wires up. I moved the radios up and put this big screen here. This is the Linux machine, and this is going to be on Starship After Dark, and it's going to be a second broadcast. I'm telling you guys straight up, the purpose of me doing this not only is because there's going to be a lot going on Saturday. It's not all going to go on one channel, but here's the other thing. I want to get this Starship After Dark channel up over 1,000, and I think I might be able to do it if we can just get things going. But anyway, this is Starship Studios. The big computer's back here. You can see the fan there. I'm touching it with my finger. That's the Ryzen 512 core back there. That's the big one. This one down here is the Linux machine. It's pretty much as fast that you see down here. It's behind me underneath the desk, and it's now over on this side of the studio. And the audio and the video all go into both systems now. So that's really cool. Yeah, we are expecting geomagnetic storms over the next few days and a slightly higher risk for maybe some severe weather. So there's a lot going on in the next few days. And then, of course, it's going to be a real busy weekend out there. I'm expecting at least a 14-hour broadcast on Saturday on 2 systems. I'm going to be worn out, but I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be great. Remember, it's not just the protesting this weekend, but it's also the counter protesting this weekend, because there's a lot of people going to be out doing counter protesting. So anyway, there you go. It looks like some of the cameras are going dark now. I think the cartoon characters that showed up for today's protest, guys, what is that? 100 people showed up for the protest today, and 42 of them were wearing those big blow-up costumes. Is anybody taking this seriously now? Seriously?
Seriously, you guys?
Okay. All right. Well, all right. Let me check the chat room. Anything else come in? Yeah, it will. You know what? Geomagnetic storms generally wipe out HF, but every now and then they can provide conditions that are dynamic. I heard for years, I can't wait till the top of the solar cycle. I can't wait till the top of the solar cycle. We get to the top of the solar cycle, I don't really notice a difference. I don't think it's a big deal, but it's not that big a deal. You can have really good days and really bad days at the top or the bottom of the solar cycle. I just think it's crazy at the top, like where we're at right now. And every now and then you can get something that comes in that'll open up part of the world for you that you've never spoke to before. Well, that's it, Sludgeon. Why should we take... They're protesting because they want us to change our opinion, right? They're protesting because they want things to be different. They're protesting because they want more people to protest, so that enough people finally protest that something will happen. Well, they're showing up in SpongeBob SquarePants costumes and dinosaur costumes and Pikachu costumes. I don't understand it. I think I'm at a loss as to what the F is even going on. What are they doing? What is it? What I don't... Shit, I don't know. I don't know. All right, anyway, what else do we got? Anything last minute? Yep. Yeah, sometimes it opens up the skip. But a lot of times when the geomagnetic field gets all disturbed and you start getting a higher solar flux up around 3, 4, 5, 6, it just gets a K index, I'm sorry. It gets really hard. You know, it just, because if it's smooth as glass, it reflects really easy. If it's like this, when the wave gets there, it just doesn't do as well. And that's kind of what we're dealing with that whole thing. The costumes are propaganda. Maybe that's what it is. They're protesting protests. that's the thing. I wonder if they even give a shit about illegal aliens being ejected from the country. Do they even give a shit about bad orange man in office? Do they give a shit about, do they even have Trump derangement syndrome? Or are they just coming to F around with friends, man? They're just coming to hang out with their buddies. I'm sure one of them gives a shit and the rest of them are just hanging out. It's not even like it's serious. I mean, when I saw them protesters after George Floyd, they're walking around with fucking Molotov cocktails and shit. There was no bullshit. They were dropping off boxes of rocks on the intersections. They were going to Home Depot and buying a pallet full of egg rocks and then taking them and dropping them off somewhere so they had some shit to throw and break windows. That's the kind of shit. We're not seeing that. Other than the day they burned those 5 autonomous vehicles, and the day before that they burned the one in the intersection. That's all the real burning. Oh, there was 2 dumpsters that Sunday. That's it. There hasn't been a lot of that, which is a good thing. Nobody's lost their business in this deal so far. Now, this Saturday, I don't know how serious it's going to get this Saturday. I don't. That's why I'm going to be ready for it. I have blocked out the entire day, and I am actually, like I said, actively getting the studio ready. I have a window of about 5 hours tomorrow to finish the studio. I got it all clean and straightened, and then I messed it all up again. I got to get all this stuff put away. I want to get everything all set. I want to get the 7.2 back up over there, and then I'm going to Friday. I'm going to recycle all of my streams Friday afternoon or evening. I'm going to recycle all the streams so that, or maybe I'll do it Saturday morning early, so that way everything is fresh. All the scanner feeds in the big cities and everything is all fresh. And I'm going to change all the keywords from monitoring scanner feeds or whatever to monitoring for civil unrest, protests in Baltimore, whatever. And I'm hoping to get some more hits this weekend. I see all these channels like Mint and Crux and all these different repeater channels that are just repeating old videos over and over and over. They got hundreds and hundreds of viewers. I'm coming in here doing a live show with multiple shots and multiple audios and everything. I guess they've just been doing it a lot longer than me. And it's just a matter of having to work my way through it. Yeah. Chicago was bad Saturday, but let me tell you what's going on in Chicago. Every time it starts to get bad, they shut the cell phones down. 2 different times now, we've had 5 Chicago shots up at one time, and all 5 of them go to circles at the same time, and they never come back. They're jamming. They're preventing people from broadcasting out of the crowd. They're probably using a highly localized jamming field. Some kind. All right. Well, good night, everybody. Did I get a new microphone? No, I moved the microphone up here. In the next few nights, you'll notice a difference in my microphone. I've got a new processing program we're going to be getting installed in here in the next couple days. By the weekend, you won't hear the air conditioner anymore. It'll be gone. It'll literally be gone. It's going to be optimized for voice only. And you won't hear the air conditioner or any of the other noises or anything. No, that's exactly what's going on, Deploribus. They don't want, because if the anarchists see that there's 2,000 people gathered, they'll get up and go get their shit on and go. Yeah, they've got ways to do it. They can literally just sit there and jam the input frequencies of these phones. They could just have a general dampening field or something. I don't know how they're doing it exactly. But there's as a radio guy, I can think myself of 3 different ways to do it. And you're talking about something that would be vehicle mounted, and you would just drive the vehicle about a block away from all the crowd, and it would just create an interference where the people's phones would not receive a return signal from YouTube. And when the phone stops receiving a return signal, it stops transmitting. There's different ways to do it. Anyway, there you go. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe on this channel and hit the bell. Subscribe on After Dark and don't hit the bell, because over there's a lot of streams that recycle constantly. But there's the other channel. I'd appreciate if you guys could go over there and do that. And I don't know what else there is here. I think that's about it for tonight. Let me see here. Okay, yep, that's it. I don't see anything else. All right, guys. If there's nothing else, I'm gonna let you guys go. All right, everybody. Live, coming to you live from North Fort Myers, Florida. That's Southwest Florida, down here where Hurricane Ian struck directly. Coming to you live from down here every Saturday, every night. I'm so tired. I'm promoting old shows I used to do. Jesus, God. All right, let me try this again. This is the Sights and Sounds of Earth on Starship Adventures. My camera just locked up. I cannot believe that. My camera just locked up. It did that the other day, too. I don't know what the hell. Hold on just one second. I was literally like signing off. It's like, should I just sign off with a big goofy look on my face? Or should I turn the camera back on just so I can sign back off again? Well, there we go. Anyway, all right, guys, live from Starship Adventures, Starship Studios in Southwest Florida. This has been the Sights and Sounds of Earth presentation for this Wednesday night. We're going to be on every night this week with a special long-form presentation on Saturday. So please watch for that, and make sure you like and subscribe and do all that good stuff. You guys know what to do. And we'll see you back here tomorrow night at 9 p.m. for the Sights and Sounds of Earth. This is Starship Studios. We'll see you guys later. My name's Ian. Have a good night, everybody, and a safe tomorrow. 7 threes. Chinese food. All right.